She would never admit it out loud, but inside every woman there is a hidden weak point. A point that, when touched, breaks her defenses, shatters her certainty, and makes her chase you without understanding why. Machiavelli warned that perception controls desire, and that is exactly what you're about to learn. This is not magic nor luck. It is strategy, a form of seduction so simple, calculated, and effective that it almost feels illegal. After this, you will never see the game the same way again. Inside every woman, there is a quiet point, a silent trigger that reacts when a man appears with the right mix of presence, mystery, and intention. It isn't about beauty or money. It is about understanding the emotional architecture of the feminine. Once you grasp this mechanism, seduction becomes almost unfair. Everything flows naturally, so precisely that she believes it was her idea. And in a way it was, you simply guided the choice. That is how the game begins, subtle, silent, elegant. Women are not attracted to the obvious. The obvious is predictable, and predictable is boring. What awakens interest is the sense that she stands before a man who sees more, knows more, and rushes less. Urgency exposes dependence on approval, so you never show hunger, desperation, or need. You carry yourself as if you already possess what you want. That is when she begins to wonder what your secret is. Seduction that looks easy disarms her before she can build a wall. This does not happen through magic words, but through micro-gestures, the gaze that lingers a second longer, the almost invisible smile, the calmness of a man unafraid of silence. Women sense all this with a sensitivity most men never notice. She notices your posture, your breathing rhythm, your tranquility. It is not your words that seduce her. It is your presence. The mistake of ordinary men is compensating insecurity with excess, talking too much, explaining too much, complimenting too much. Excess reveals lack of value. Machiavelli taught that revealing too much kills mystery, and mystery is the heart of seduction. What is hard to decipher becomes hard to ignore. You offer scattered chapters, hints, fragments. She fills the rest with imagination. But seducing a woman with this level of ease is not an intellectual contest. It is guiding her like holding a delicate flame, firm enough not to let it die, gentle enough not to crush it. The secret is making everything look spontaneous. You plant small seeds and let them grow in silence. When she realizes what is happening, she is already invested, not because you pushed, but because you shaped the emotional conditions for her to walk the path willingly. Everything begins with your energy. Energy is not mysticism, it is behavioral reading. If you arrive tense, she becomes tense. If insecure, she closes. But if you arrive with quiet firmness, her internal world reorganizes itself to understand you. That curiosity is the first step of Machiavellian seduction. Once awakened, the rest unfolds naturally. She starts observing you more, listening more closely, imagining things without noticing. Seduction happens inside her, not inside you. Before she realizes it, she is already giving signals, playing with her hair, adjusting her posture, glancing at you, asking questions that seem trivial but carry intention. She begins to want your attention, and there is no greater power than that. When she senses that you control the rhythm, she willingly moves to your tempo, but you maintain the lightness, the charm, the calmness of a man who could walk away. And because you could walk away, she wants you to stay. The human mind values what it believes it can lose. Machiavelli knew this. Women know it too. And now you learn to turn this into a silent art. Machiavellian seduction continues where ordinary men give up, in subtlety. You realize women do not fall for brute intensity, but for slow, almost invisible layers that stack inside her unnoticed. The secret is not to impress her. It is to replace the idea she has of you with the idea you want her to have. You build that with small impacts, so natural she cannot categorize them as strategy. The first layer is emotional. You become a breath of air. Everyone demands something from her. Family, work, friends, but not you. You become the space where she can relax, where she does not have to pretend. Your energy says, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to see you. That sensation disarms any woman. The power lies in not wanting anything immediately. The second layer is controlled unpredictability. This does not mean disappearing. It means being slightly less available than she expects, yet more present than other men. A calculated balance. You answer when you choose, but memorably. You do not vanish out of ego. You simply have a life. The moment she notices that, she adjusts to your rhythm. Your time becomes valuable because you do not hand it out for free. Men who throw themselves at her too quickly make her lose interest. What comes too easy feels cheap. Machiavelli would say the power lies in the uncertainty of the other side. She must feel she can win you, but not immediately. Seduction is a game of stimulation and restraint. You show a little, pull back a little. The third layer is selective attention. You do not compliment everything. You do not validate everything. You choose the right moments, and when you choose, the impact doubles. Women know the difference between an automatic compliment and an intentional one. Automatic sounds generic. Intentional hits the emotional system. Saying you look beautiful is ordinary. Saying the way you adjust your hair when you're thinking is fascinating touches something deeper. Being truly seen is rare and addictive. The fourth layer is emotional control. She will test you. It is instinctive. She provokes, pokes, teases. Not to disrespect you, but to understand your internal structure. She wants to know if you're steady, if you have self-control. If you react with irritation, you lose. If you react with neediness, you lose. But if you answer with humor, with calmness, with elegant detachment, you gain more emotional ground than any rehearsed line. The illegal seduction begins in your tranquility. The fifth layer is physical presence without urgency. It is not touching too soon. It is letting your body language enter her space slowly. The closeness of your face when you lower your voice. The light touch on her forearm. Women interpret these details in amplified resolution. It is not the touch itself. It is the intention behind it. When the intention is mature, calm, grounded, she feels it. She senses herself becoming more interested than she planned. This is the moment seduction feels illegal. You did not take anything. You did not force anything. You simply created a space where she allowed herself to feel. And when a woman allows herself to feel, the entire game shifts. Now she starts thinking about you during the day. She remembers what you said. She looks for signs of you. She checks if you saw her picture. She becomes more open. And most importantly, she begins testing you more frequently. Tests are good. Tests mean impact. She only tests what she fears losing. When the provocations come, you do not confront. You smile. You flip the frame. You lead. Through that, she understands you are comfortable inside your own energy. That combination is almost extinct. She realizes your calm soothes her, your attention excites her, your absence bothers her, and no one resists for long being seen that deeply. Seduction happens when she realizes you can touch emotional parts others overlook. You do it without rushing, just by existing like a man who controls his own axis. When she feels she is losing control over her interest, she tries to hide it. But her body betrays her. This is where Machiavellian seduction becomes inevitable. The desire is planted. When a woman feels you have an emotional impact she cannot explain, she starts seeing herself through your eyes. Every gesture creates an expectation inside her. This is the most delicate moment. It demands balance. Too much force makes her retreat. Too much softness makes her lose interest. It is in the exact dosage that everything feels inevitable. The next step is mastering emotional rhythm. Every woman has an internal rhythm. Most men try to adapt to it. You do not. You establish your rhythm and invite her to step into it. When your rhythm is calmer, more secure, she automatically slows down. She feels she is with a man who controls chaos. This contrast creates almost instant attraction. Then you use the most powerful weapon, conscious silence. Not ignoring her, silence with intention. You watch her speak, smile lightly, let the moment breathe. Women are not used to men who refuse to fill every silence. You create tension, and tension is the oxygen of desire. Another crucial point is intelligent humor. Not forced jokes, but surgical humor that reveals your sharpness. When she provokes, you disarm her without disrespect. When she tests, you answer with calmness. This shows you play on a higher level. This humor creates an intimate connection. It shows you understand her subtext. Then comes the most dangerous phase, the atmospheric presence. Your presence becomes psychological. She thinks of you before sleeping, in the shower, at work. You appear in her thoughts without permission. This happens because you were not overwhelming. You were unforgettable. Every micro-interaction left a deep imprint. It was quality, not quantity. Now this is where most men make their biggest mistake. When they notice the woman is involved, they accelerate. They want quick dates, they want guarantees. Machiavelli would never make that mistake. The moment she starts missing you is when you must remain elegant. The mistake is trying to close the deal. The correct strategy is allowing her to take small initiatives. Women value what they help build. If she participates, it creates roots. You do not eliminate the mystery. You open space for her to walk toward you.